Time's Arrow is one of the most haunting and emotionally complex stories the show has ever told. Through fragmented, fading memories of Beatrice Horseman, we're taken on a surreal journey through time, trauma, and identity. It's disorientating, heartbreaking, and deeply human. In this video, we're going to break down what makes Time's Arrow such a powerful piece of television, how it uses unreliable memory as a storytelling device, what it reveals about Beatrice, and the cycle of generational pain, and why this episode continues to resonate with so many viewers long after the credits roll. BoJack Horseman follows a washed-up 90s sitcom star as he struggles with fame, addiction, and self-loathing in a surreal version of Hollywood. Equal parts hilarious and heartbreaking, the show dives deep into mental health, identity, and whether it's too late to change. The episode begins with Beatrice and BoJack in a car driving down a highway. Beatrice is clearly disorientated, calling BoJack by the wrong name, Henrietta. She is unable to recognize BoJack, and during this moment, tells BoJack that Time's Arrow neither stands still nor reverses. It merely marches forward. Beatrice, in a state of confusion, steps out of the car once it's come to a stop, shifting her perspective to her childhood. She's a young girl now. She walks to a playground, wanting to slide down a slide, and she's bullied by some girls from her school, calling her fat. Beatrice is coughing and begins to climb the steps to the slide. The girls taunt her and step on her hands, causing her to fall and hit the ground. Beatrice cries. In her bedroom, Beatrice is in her bed, coughing, and tells her father, Joseph Sugarman, that she is unwell. Joseph tells her that she needs to put on her uniform now, and when she gets out of bed, she faints. Joseph carries her out of the room, panicked that she has a fever. Beatrice awakens again in her bed, where we see Joseph shouting at Beatrice's mum, Honey Sugarman. Joseph explains that Beatrice has scarlet fever, and that Honey didn't notice due to the lobotomy. Beatrice is older now. She's having her debutante ball, and Joseph walks in, complimenting her on how she looks. Beatrice is starting to display her coldness as she lists off political reasons why this ball doesn't matter or have any real impact. As the scene moves to the ball, we're introduced to Beatrice's potential suitor, Corbin Creamerman. We can't see the faces of the other attendees, as this is a memory in Beatrice's mind. There is static as the audience quickly shifts back to the scene before, with Joseph explaining who Corbin is. Back at the ball, we see the same girls who bullied Beatrice earlier in the episode. Beatrice begins to share her opinion about how garish these parties are. Once she's done, we flicker back to Beatrice standing at the bar. She's disorientated by the transition. She meets Butterscotch Horseman, an aspiring writer. They conversate about her father's expectations and Butterscotch's ambitions. Butterscotch makes a joke about what Beatrice's mum must think of her. She responds sadly that she doesn't think much of anything anymore, alluding to her lobotomy. Butterscotch talks about his late mother, saying she had a diamond just like Beatrice. BoJack appears as reality starts to seep through, saying that he would like to check his mother into a nursing home. This confuses and startles Beatrice. Beatrice gets interrupted by Corbin. She must perform. After her performance, she notices that Butterscotch is leaving. She follows him outside. Beatrice tells him that it's rude not to say goodbye, and he responds by asking her to join him. She leaves with him, and they make love for the first time, sealing her fate. 2 weeks later, she's back in her bedroom reading a book. Joseph comes in saying that she has a date with Corbin, and gets mad when Beatrice refuses. She reluctantly goes on this date. Corbin opens up to Beatrice, explaining his ambitions and dreams. This moves Beatrice as she begins to admire him and open herself up as well. As expected, this moment doesn't last. Beatrice begins to throw up uncontrollably due to pregnancy. It's unknown how long after, but Beatrice tracks down Butterscotch, as he is likely the father. She finds him, and Butterscotch is confused as to why she's here. Beatrice tells him that she is pregnant, and Butterscotch suggests that she should take care of it. She doesn't want to do that though. Butterscotch tries to reassure Beatrice by suggesting that they move to California. They rekindle some romance as they picture their lives together with the baby. Beatrice and Butterscotch get married. A beautiful picture montage plays before the harsh reality of what they've signed up for creeps in. Beatrice is in a small apartment, in the bedroom, with Butterscotch next to her. The baby, BoJack, is crying during the night. The horrible nature of their relationship is evident as they start arguing aggressively over finances and work. BoJack Horseman is 6 years old, sitting in the living room with Beatrice. Butterscotch comes home from work and arguments unfold between him and Beatrice. The tension moves away from Beatrice and Butterscotch begins picking on BoJack. He agrees to take the job working for Beatrice's dad, and financial troubles start to fade away. We quickly see the characters grow and their living standards improve. We are introduced to Henrietta, the maid. She is optimistic and bright, with a curious interest in art and literature. Butterscotch likes this. Beatrice is aware of their relationship but doesn't care, making snippy comments to Butterscotch about Henrietta. Another time skip happens. We are at BoJack's house. BoJack and Beatrice are discussing why she doesn't divorce Butterscotch. Beatrice doesn't believe that you should divorce someone just because you don't get along. She believes that divorce is the easy way out. Beatrice defaults to her coping mechanism of blaming BoJack for what he did to her body during childbirth. She doesn't take accountability for the choices she made. She offers BoJack a painting that Joseph gave her. She tells BoJack that he was a man who knew what marriage was, even though he got Honey lobotomized to avoid dealing with her grief. Beatrice brings up BoJack's show Horsing Around, which got cancelled. Beatrice has flashbacks of all the traumatic experiences she had in her life. Her eyes widen. Another time skip of several months occur. Beatrice is sitting on the sofa and Butterscotch walks into the room, clearly uncomfortable. Butterscotch got Henrietta pregnant. He frames it as Henrietta's fault, but Beatrice, knowing better, calls him out on it. It's an awkward moment as they discuss it. Butterscotch can't talk Henrietta out of having the baby and begs Beatrice to try. At first, Beatrice doesn't want to help, but after Butterscotch breaks down, she agrees to talk to her. Beatrice and Henrietta are sitting in the kitchen. Her face is scribbled out, not blurred. It means that Beatrice can remember her face, but due to guilt, doesn't want to. She fires Henrietta. Henrietta apologizes, but explains that Butterscotch was kind to her, as if to justify the affair. Beatrice explains that this is what he does, even using his late mother as a pickup line to seduce women, as he did with her. Henrietta explains that she does want this child and shows Beatrice an ultrasound. It's a horse baby. Henrietta asks for help as she is studying to be a nurse, and tuition keeps increasing. Beatrice uses this to her advantage and suggests that she will pay for schooling if she gives up the baby for adoption. Henrietta says no. Beatrice begins to rant about how Henrietta thinks she wants this, but she doesn't, projecting how she feels about BoJack and her life onto Henrietta's situation. Music begins to play and we see Henrietta giving birth to Hollyhock. Parallel to this, we see Beatrice giving birth to BoJack. Through fragmented memories, we see Beatrice's baby doll taken from her in childhood. Beatrice is giving birth, screaming, as is Henrietta, the music swelling as each moment flashes by. BoJack and Hollyhock are born. Flashing back to childhood, we see Beatrice retrieving her baby doll, before flashing forward to baby BoJack being held by Beatrice. Beatrice is back with Henrietta, congratulating her on a successful birth. Another flashback to Beatrice as a child, holding onto her baby doll, which is a source of comfort. We all see the servants throwing her belongings into a fire. She cries out for them to stop. Joseph explains to Beatrice that they must burn them. Her sickness has infected everything. Joseph is referring to her scarlet fever, but Beatrice takes this in the wrong way, internalizing it. As a comparison, we're back in the hospital room with Henrietta, who has just given birth. Beatrice says that the hard part is over, taking Hollyhock away from the nurses. Henrietta wants to hold her. Beatrice says no, you'll get attached. Henrietta is inconsolable, begging to hold her child. Back to Joseph, we see him say that it must all be destroyed. Joseph explains to Beatrice that this is for your own good. Right after this, we see Beatrice using this exact phrase to Henrietta. Back to Joseph, despite Beatrice pleading with him, he takes her baby doll and throws it in the fire. She screams out. Back in the hospital, Henrietta is screaming out, just like young Beatrice. Beatrice is back to being a child again, and we see Joseph. They're in a dreamscape, surrounded by fire. Joseph tells Beatrice not to let her womanly emotions consume her, or she'll end up just like her mother. A haunting silhouette of Honey appears, the scar outlined and apparent. In the nursing home, we see old, frail Beatrice, and BoJack is wishing her luck sarcastically, hoping to leave her there indefinitely. Beatrice is more aware now, asking who that is, before realizing it's BoJack. BoJack stops and turns back, walking to Beatrice, who fears her new surroundings. She asks, "What is this place?" And BoJack explains that this is where she lives now. She still doesn't understand. As an act of mercy and love, we see BoJack paint a picture for his mother. He explains that she's in Michigan. Her whole family is with her. They are at the lake house. Her brother is playing the piano. She's on the back porch, eating some vanilla ice cream. BoJack asks if she can taste it. In a moment of clarity, she looks away at the floor. I suspect that she's never tasted vanilla ice cream. She looks back up after sighing with determination before saying that it tasted delicious. The credits roll and the audience is left feeling emotionally drained due to the roller coaster of guilt, sadness, dread, and madness. In a series full of emotional moments, Time's Arrow stands out as one of BoJack Horseman's most daring and devastating episodes. It's a masterclass in storytelling, animation, and emotional truth, one that reminds us of the fragility of our identity and how easily we can lose ourselves when the past remains unresolved. This episode is entirely told through the deteriorating mind of Beatrice Horseman, who is suffering from dementia. This narrative device is more than just a gimmick. It's the emotional engine of the episode. Events unfold in the fragmented, non-linear sequences, not just flashbacks, but also repetitions, distortions, and emotional interruptions. Conversations cut off mid-sentence, sounds loop or stutter, reflecting Beatrice's disorientation. Beatrice's identity, once defined by control and pride and bitterness, begins to dissolve. This episode is the culmination of the show's long-running exploration of intergenerational trauma. Beatrice is revealed not as a one-dimensional villain, but as a product of her trauma. Time's Arrow doesn't excuse her, it humanizes her. It shows us that behind cruelty is usually fear and hurt that was never healed. Through a broken mind, we piece together the story of a woman whose cruelty wasn't born in a vacuum, but inherited, shaped, and sharpened by pain. The episode places us inside the mind of Beatrice as she slips into the depths of her dementia. She is not a reliable narrator, and that's the point. We see Beatrice as a child in a house whose grief is poisoned by silence. Her mother, Honey Sugarman, once full of life, is shattered beyond the loss of her son, Crackerjack, in the war. Her father, Joseph, refuses to grieve. Instead, he chooses control. When Honey breaks down, he has her lobotomized, a choice that erases what's left of her spirit. The scene isn't loud or violent, it's quiet and cold. This is the moment that changes Beatrice's life forever. From that day on, she learns that emotion is weakness, that love is dangerous, and that survival means shutting everything down. When Beatrice meets Butterscotch Horseman, it feels like a rebellion, a spark of freedom. Their love sours into resentment and failure. They become cruel reflections of the parents they tried to escape. Their home becomes a battleground, and BoJack was born in it. He is unwanted, unloved, and used as a vessel for Beatrice's pain. In her eyes, he ruined her body, her future, and her chance at happiness. Then comes Henrietta, the nurse with the scribbled out face. She's young and kind and vulnerable. Butterscotch has an affair with her, and Henrietta becomes pregnant. Beatrice convinces her to give up her child and frames it as an act of mercy, and tells her that it's for her baby's own good. By the end of the episode, Beatrice is barely there. Her memories are ghosts. She doesn't know where she is or who the people around her are. BoJack takes her to a dingy nursing home, worn down and hopeless, the kind of place where people are forgotten. Time's Arrow is not about redemption, it's about damage. It's about the way trauma calcifies in silence and turns love into cruelty. It doesn't excuse Beatrice, it doesn't have to. What it does is show us the whole picture, the pain behind the sharpness, the humanity behind the horror. It reveals to us how broken people break others, how suffering repeats like a looped memory unless someone, somewhere, finds a way to stop it. It's an episode about memory, identity, motherhood, and loss. It's told through the fading mind of a single woman. It's haunting, poetic, and deeply sad. Time's Arrow is the slow ache that lingers long after the credits roll.